All right, I'm going to talk today about this test I developed to test software engineers for debugging skills. All right, let's talk about the origin story of this idea, because I had to develop this idea this year. Right? I've been hiring people for a while, for many years. It's only this year that I had to rack my brain for a new way to counter the rise of cheating using AI. What I found was that it's no longer sufficient to just ask technical questions. People were getting very sophisticated. Even on a live interview, people were very easily gaming the technical questions. Um, it's gotten very sophisticated where people were using AI during the interview to give the correct answers. So it was no longer sufficient just to ask technical questions, even on a live phone call. That was no longer sufficient. So I needed to develop a new test. So I thought about it, and I thought, all right, I'm going to test the debugging skill. Why focus on this? All right, so think about for how AI is changing the world of software engineering. The amount of code being generated is much easier. Uh, there's um, there's going to be an increasing supply of code in the world. However, the debugging skill, as of now, November 2025, AIs are not very good at debugging, especially because it requires context from your brain to know exactly what is your goal. Okay, so debugging is not a skill they have. All right, so here's the setup that I developed. So what I did was I forked this Git repository. It's open source, Python-DL. Um, Actually, hold on. It's YouTube DL. My bad. But it's a Python code base. Okay, Python code base. All it does is um, download a YouTube video. All right, let me correct that. Okay, what I did was I artificially introduced a bug in it. It misinterprets input as a random string, and that's it. It's a very simple bug, and strong software engineer can solve this in 10 minutes. All right, let me just show you what the bug is. I don't mind. Yeah, this is it. All right, so it's just basically as well. Artificially returns the or it messes up the URL. Sets it to a random string. But anyway, let's go setup. Oh yeah, let me demo it. Okay. All right. So here it is. Here's the bug. Okay, it's I run this Python program, YouTube DL, and give it an input string. All right. So, and if it says error out, all right, blah 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 is not a valid URL. Okay. I'm gonna run this several more times. You can see that it's different every time. It's just a random string. Okay. So it's a very simple bug, and I don't know. Lots of people were complaining this bug is very hard. It's going to take an hour. That's not true. I gave this test to somebody who I know is a very good software engineer. He cracked it in 10 minutes. Right? This is actually a very simple bug. A strong engineer can solve it easily in 10 minutes, at most 20 minutes. I was given this test to like 16 different software engineers. They all flunked it. Not even close. Let me talk about some of the wrong approaches they had. All right, so these are just a few of them off the top of my head. There were like a whole bunch. Um, yeah, this was a funny one. One guy, so he asked to look at the source code. He looked at this one, a zish file here. All right, it's like, yeah, the bug might be there. No, it's not. This is a zish configuration. It has nothing to do with Python. Anyway, I that one just got on my nerves. Like basically, as soon as the guy opened up the zish file, I just ended the interview right there. Like, you know, the guy's just not even close. Another one was like, let's go to setup.py. All right. All right, and then all right. So he wanted me to open the source code, go up and down. Okay, let's go to the next file. That's very slow. You're not gonna get anywhere close. This fourth one is funny too, because it's like immediately, it's in an immediate giveaway that they're using an LLM. All right, let me give you an example. Okay, so one guy, all right, with no context. Okay, he said, go into this folder. He said, oh, go into the extractor. Okay, go into like one of these mini extractors. Like the guy obviously using LLM. Okay, he's not thinking from debugging first principles. All right, so for those who are curious, this is the solution. Okay, a strong engineer can solve it in 10 minutes flat. And by the way, I did give it to one of my engineers. I just want to reiterate, and he solved it in 10 minutes. All right, and it's not hard. Okay, first you grep for part of the error string. All right, let me show you how. All right, so you grep for part of the error string, like this one. Okay, so let's grep it. Let's go. Let's see, get grep. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, so you find this file. Okay, so let's open it. Is not a valid URL. And right here, all right, so this is where the error gets raised. Okay, right here, you put a stack trace. Okay, you generate a stack trace. It gives you around 6 to 7 levels, and then you binary search up the stack trace. And eventually, you find the bug. It solves in 10 minutes. Okay, if you're good. But yeah, so none of them passed. None of them. I mean, so it's anyway. It seems like a very good test for debugging skills. Anyway, oh yeah, the guy who solved it is he works for me. So anyway, let's see. What are we? All right, so demonstrated the test and the solution. All right, so what are we looking for? We're looking for around 10 pre-orders and $100 each. That's it. You get priority access. You can give the test an unlimited number of times. We also plan to develop hundreds of anti-AI tests. We're not going to stop at just this test. Okay, we're going to develop a whole bunch of these tests. This is just a starting point. Okay, who we are. All right, so this is who I am. Just so you know, you're not giving it to random people on the internet. All right. Conclusion. Test I gave was manual, but can be easily automated, etc. I talked about this already. Anyway, all right, so let's wrap this up. All right, if you have questions or feedback, email me here. You can also book a 30-minute conversation with me at this URL. Okay, thank you. Hope you back the Kickstarter. Bye.